Zachary Good is a talented tattoo artist in Dayton, Ohio, but getting to this point hasn't been easy.
Just a complete sense of hopelessness and despair and not knowing what step to take next, whether it was to keep going, kill myself, or change the way I was living.
That was him just a few years ago, hooked on heroin.
You hear that term, hitting rock bottom. Was there one particular time where you really, that was it?
Living on the streets, homeless shelters, under bridges, in abandoned houses. It was like a long bottom for me.
It started when he was 16 years old, experimenting with drugs and alcohol, and becoming addicted to the prescription opioid Oxycontin, a storyline that's all too familiar these days as the opioid epidemic sweeps the country.
I found it from friends who'd had it from wisdom teeth surgeries or other ACL surgeries or something.
Sophomore year of high school, Shannon tore her ACL playing soccer and was prescribed Oxycontin. And soon she began misusing the prescription, continuing to take it after it was no longer needed for her injury.
They're playing for their football team or their volleyball team, and they have an accident and the doctor prescribes them opioids. Even if they're taking them as the doctor is prescribing, that can lead to an addiction. Just because a doctor prescribes them to you doesn't mean they're safe.
And although it's no surprise drug use is dangerous and can cause addiction, experts say the stakes are even higher for the teen brain.
The human brain doesn't complete development until the mid to late 20s. And the earlier you take them, the more susceptible your brain is to developing an addiction.
But how did prescription opioids meant to relieve pain become dangerous?
It started with a massive increase in the prescribing of opioids, so about a 4-fold increase over the course of about 15 years.
In the late 1990s, prescription drug companies told doctors their drugs for pain were not addictive, so doctors began prescribing them more and more. But they were addictive, and by the early 2000s, opioid overdoses were on the rise. Now, the pharmaceutical industry faces dozens of lawsuits for their role in the epidemic.
These companies put profits above the health and well-being of Ohio consumers.
In 2015, about 2 million Americans abused prescription opioids.
There are people who have an addiction to prescription opioids, and then we have people who are addicted to heroin. And about 80% of people who are addicted to heroin started with prescription opioids.
Like in movies and stuff, they always make it seem that people who do cocaine or heroin are like in their 40s or 50s and living under bridges and stuff. I was 18 at the time and gonna go to college and from a really good family, so I didn't think it was possible. I was very naive about it, I guess. I was until it happened.
Heroin grabbed a hold of Shannon.
I didn't realize how bad it was.
And for Zachary, the drug almost cost him his life.
I spent a few months in jail, and the same day I got out, I used and overdosed in the women's bathroom at the bus hub downtown and was taken to the hospital and was Narcaned multiple times.
Now, his mugshots serve as a reminder of a time and place he hopes to never visit again.
It was the first time I was arrested, and all of these happened within a 3-month period.
What's it like to look at these?
It's hard to believe. That's me, and that's where I was.
Do you keep them on your phone like this for a reason, though?
Yeah, and it's a reminder of what could happen if I choose. And it's also just, it's a way for me to find gratitude for where I'm at now.
Both Zachary and Shannon went to treatment facilities and are clean today, but it's a daily battle.
Society tends to think that it's hopeless, but there are 25 million Americans in stable recovery right now. It's not an easy process, but it is possible. We can help people with this by not stigmatizing drug addiction.
Now you have your own business card.
Yeah, it is.
That must make you proud.
Yeah. I have to drive my own car, have my own place to live, I pay my bills. But yeah, life's pretty good today. Yeah.
Emily Reppert, Channel 1 News.